ज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada, Kita Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Dhamma Pranam. Thank you all so much for joining. So we'll continue our reading of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 11 of Antya Lila. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. So this chapter is about the glorious passing of Srila Haridas Thakur, our Namacharya. And in text 24, we read that how Lord Chaitanya told Srila Haridas Thakur, with considering his age and his health, that now you have become old and you may reduce the number of rounds you chant daily. You are already liberated and therefore you need not follow the regulative principles very strictly. So we'll continue with text 25 onwards. And yeah, we can read 5 verses each. So, Sumati Mataji, you can start with 25, Mataji. 25
Hare
to
Krishna
30.
Mataji.
Hare
Standard
Krishna.
pronouns.
Namaste.
Text 25. लोकानिस्तारिते तुम्हारा अवतारा नामेरा महिमा लोके करीला प्रचारा. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Your role in this incarnation is to deliver the people in general. You have sufficiently preached the glories of the holy name in this world. Should I read purport, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, please read.
Okay, Mataji. Haridasa Thakura is known as Namacharya because it is he who preached the glories of chanting Harinama, the holy name of God. By using the words Tomara Avatara, your incarnation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirms that Haridas Thakura is the incarnation of Lord Brahma. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura says that advanced devotees help the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his mission, and that such devotees or personal associates incarnate by the will of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord incarnates by his own will, and by his will, competent devotees also incarnate to help him in his mission. Haridas Thakura is thus the incarnation of Lord Brahma, and other devotees are likewise incarnations who help in the prosecution of the Lord's mission. Text 26. एबे अल्पसंख्याकरी कर संकीर्तना हरिदास काहे शुना मोरा सत्य निवेदना. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord concluded, now therefore please reduce the fixed number of times you chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Purport. Haridas Thakura replied, kindly hear my real plea. Text 27. हीना जाति जन्म मोरा निंद्या कलेवरा हीना कर्मे रता मुनि adhama pamara. Translation. I was born in an inferior family and my body is most abominable. I always engage in low work. Therefore, I am the lowest, most condemned of men. Text 28. Adrishya aprishya more angikara kaila Rauravaha ite kadi, more vaikunte chadaila. Translation. I am unseeable and untouchable, but you have accepted me as your servant. This means that you have delivered me from a hellish condition and raised me to the Vaikunta platform. Text 29. Swatantra Ishwara tumi hao icha maya Jagat na chao yare yache icha haya. Translation. My dear Lord, you are the fully independent personality of Godhead. You act by your own free will. You cause the whole world to dance and act as you like. Text 30. Aneka nachaila more prasada kariya viprera shraddha patra kainu lechahaya. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Lord, by your mercy, you have made me dance in many ways. For example, I was offered the Shraddha Patra, which should have been offered to first class Brahmanas. I ate from it even though I was born in a family of meat eaters. Purport. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura, in his Anubhashya, quotes from the Vishnu Smriti in reference to Shraddha Patra. Brahmana Pasadahiyete Katita Pankti Dushaka Etan Vivarjayet Yatnat Shraddha Karmani Pandita. According to this verse, if one is born in a Brahmana family but does not behave according to Brahminical standards, he should not be offered the Shraddha Patra, which is prasadam offered to the forefathers. Advaita Acharya offered the Shraddha Patra to Haridas Thakura, not to a Brahmana who had been born in a Brahmana family. Although Haridas Thakura was born in the family of meat eaters, because he was an advanced devotee, he was shown more respect than a first class Brahmana. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. So, in this section, this beautiful conversation between Lord Chaitanya and Srila Haridas Thakur, whereby we see the love of Lord Chaitanya towards Srila Haridas Thakur and the love of Srila Haridas Thakur for Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya himself is telling Srila Haridas Thakur that you took this incarnation to deliver people in general and you have sufficiently preached the glories of the holy name in this world. Now, because of your age, you can reduce your number of rounds. And so Prabhupada in the purport to text 25 explains that Srila Haridas Thakur, because the Lord is using the word your incarnation, so the Lord is himself confirming that Haridas Thakur is an incarnation and he's the incarnation of Lord Brahma. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has told us that there are many advanced devotees who help the Supreme Lord in his mission. And such devotees, they are not ordinary people, they are personal associates of the Lord and they incarnate, as per the will of the Supreme Lord. So when the Lord comes, he comes by his own will, and by his will, his competent devotees also incarnate in this world and they help him in his mission. So, Srila Haridas Thakur is one such incarnation. And the Lord is telling Srila Haridas Thakur that you reduce your number of times, your number of rounds. But Haridas Thakur says that, please hear my plea. And he says that I was born in an abominable family. My birth was abominable, and my work is also low. So I am the most condemned of men. I am unseeable. I am untouchable. But you have accepted me as your servant. This means that you have delivered me from this hellish condition, and you have brought me to the Vaikuntha platform. Then he glorifies the Lord that you are the supremely independent Lord and you act by your own will. You make everyone dance. And you have also made me dance as per your desire. And then he is quoting this incident where he was offered the Shraddha Patra, which Advaita Acharya had offered to him. And even though Haridas Thakur, if we just look at the external material vision, if we see through that, then he was born in a Mlecha family, not a Brahmana family. But the Shraddha Patra was to be offered to the first class Brahmana, and Advaita Acharya had offered it to Srila Haridas Thakur, and thereby, making this point very strongly that this is not as per birth, this is according to one's quality, whether one is a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra. And Srila Haridas Thakur, being such an elevated devotee, was a first class Brahmana, even better than a first class Brahmana. So Haridas Thakur is feeling that, even though I had this low birth, all these things, all these blessings came my way. Okay, and now he'll continue speaking. So let's read further. Chandana Mataji, you can read 5 verses, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavata Pranams. एकावाचाहाय मोरा बहुदीना हायते लीला संवरी बे तुमी लाया मोरा चिते. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I have had one desire for a very long time. I think that quite soon, my Lord, you will bring to a close your pastimes within this material world. Text 32. Sei लीला प्रभु मोरे कभू ना देखाई बा अपनारा आगे मोरा शरीर पाडिबा. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I wish that you not show me this closing chapter of your pastimes. Before that time comes, kindly let my body fall down in your presence. Text 33. हृदय धारी मु तुम्हारा कमला चरना नयने देखी मु तुम्हारा चांदवदना. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I wish to catch your lotus-like feet upon my heart and see your moon-like face. जिह्वाया उच्चारी मु तुम्हारा कृष्ण चैतन्य नामा एई मत मोरा इच्छा चाडी मु पराना. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. With my tongue I shall chant your holy name, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, that is my desire. Kindly let me give up my body in this way. Text 35. मोरा इच्छा यदि तुम्हारा प्रसादे हया एई निवेदन मोरा कर दया मया. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O most merciful Lord, if by your mercy it is possible, kindly grant my desire. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hariful. So Haridas Thakur is now submitting his plea, the desire that he had, that I've had this desire for a very long time. And he says that, my Lord, I can understand, I think that you will bring your Leelas to an end, your Leelas in this material world to an end. And I just wish that, I don't want to see that closing chapter of your pastimes. This obviously it's not going to be easy for anyone to see the closing of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. The devotees are so dedicated and so much in love with the Supreme Lord. Seeing him end his pastimes, it's going to be very, very difficult for them. And Srila Haridas Thakur is saying that before that happens, you please let me leave my body. Let my body fall down in your presence. So he wants to leave his body in the presence of Lord Chaitanya. He doesn't want to see the closing of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. He says that I wish to catch your moon-like feet upon my heart and see your moon-like face. And with my tongue I shall chant your holy name, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. That is my desire. Kindly let me give up my body in this way. So he's just praying to Lord Chaitanya that, oh, most merciful Lord, if by your mercy it is possible, kindly grant my desire. That's the prayer of Srila Haridas Thakur. So, Padma Mataji, let's move forward. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
It's from 31, no? Text 31,
36, Mataji, 36 to 40.
no? Okay, my page just flipped. Okay, Mataji, Hare Krishna. Ei nicha deha mora paduka tava age ei vancha siddhi mora tumate lage. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let this low-born body fall down before you. You can make possible this perfection of all my desires. Text 37. प्रभु कहे हरिदास यही तुम्ही मागिबे कृष्ण कृपा माया ताहा अवश्य करीबे. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, my dear Haridasa, Krishna is so merciful that he must execute whatever you want. Text 38. किंतु हमारे ये किचु सुखा सब तुम्हारा तुम्हारा योग्य नहीं या बे हमारा चदिया. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. But whatever happiness is mine is all due to your association. It is not fitting for you to go away and leave me behind. Text 39. Charanadhari kahe haridas na kariha maya avashamo padhame prabhu kariye daya. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Catching the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Haridasa Thakur said, my Lord, do not create an illusion. Although I am so fallen, you must certainly show me this mercy. Text 40. Mora Shiromani Kata Mahashaya Tomara Lila Sahaya Koti Bhakta Haya. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My Lord, there are many respectable personalities, millions of devotees who are fit to sit on my head. They are all helpful in your pastimes. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So Srila Haridas Thakur is praying to Lord Chaitanya that, this low-born body of mine, let it fall before you. I do not want to stay longer. And you can make this perfection of all my desires. You can make this possible. And then Lord Chaitanya speaks to Srila Haridas Thakur. So it's a very beautiful reciprocation between the Lord and his devotee, whereby Lord Chaitanya now says that Krishna is so merciful, O Haridas, and that he must execute whatever you want. But the Lord says that my happiness is due to your association. So it is not fitting for you to go away and leave me behind. So Haridas Thakur wants to leave his body, and before Lord Chaitanya ends his pastime, the Lord Chaitanya is saying that my happiness is because of you. So you don't go away, don't leave me behind. And then catching the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, Haridas Thakur says that you please don't create this illusion now. Although I'm so fallen, you must certainly show me this mercy. So he's saying that, Lord, create this kind of illusion with your words. Just whatever is my desire, please, even though I'm fallen, you please make this happen. And there are many respectable personalities, millions of devotees who are fit to sit on my head. They're all helpful in your pastimes. So he's telling Lord Chaitanya that you will still have so many devotees around you, and let me go before you end your pastimes. Okay, yeah. So moving forward, 41 onwards. Would someone like to read?
Hare Krishna, shall I, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, please read.
Mataji, which chapter in Antya Lila?
This is 11th chapter, Mataji, 41 to 45.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. आमाहेन यादि एका कीटा मारी गेला एका पिपीलिका माइले पृथ्वीरा कहानी हैला. Translation: My Lord, if an insignificant insect like me dies, what is the loss? If an ant dies, where is the loss to the material world? Text 42. भक्तवत्सला प्रभु तुम्ही मोई भक्त भासा आवस्या पुराबे प्रभु मोरा ये आसा. My Lord, you are always affectionate to your devotees. I am just an imitation devotee. But nevertheless, I wish that you fulfill my desire, that is my expectation. मध्याना करीते प्रभु चालीला अपाने ईश्वरा देखिया काली दिबे न दर्शाने. Because he had to perform his noon duties, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got up to leave, but it was settled that the following day, after he saw Lord Jagannath, he would return to visit Haridas Thakura. तबे महाप्रभु तारी रे कारी आलिंगना मध्याना करीते समुद्रे करीला गमाना. After embracing him, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left to perform his noon duties and went to the sea to take his bath. प्रातः काले ईश्वर देखी सभा भक्त लाना हरिदासे देखी ते आइला शीघ्र करिया. The next morning, after visiting the Jagannath temple, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, accompanied by all his devotees, went hastily to see Haridas Thakura.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So in this section, Srila Haridas Thakur is saying, he's telling Lord Chaitanya that don't make this illusion. You already have so many wonderful devotees with you. What difference will it make if I die? And he's giving this comparison of, he's saying that I am like if an insignificant insect like me dies, what is the loss? I mean, that is the level of humility of Srila Haridas Thakur. He says, if an ant dies, what is the loss to the material world? So he is so elevated, he is so important, and yet he is actually considering himself so very humble and so insignificant. And he says that I am just an imitation devotee. You are always affectionate to your devotees, but I am just an imitation devotee. But still, I'm just requesting you to fulfill my desire. This is my expectation. And then this is a prayer of Srila Haridas Thakur, and then Lord Chaitanya had to perform his noon duty, so he gets up and leaves. But it was decided that the next day he is going to come and meet Srila Haridas Thakur after he takes darshan of Lord Jagannath. And after embracing him, so Lord Chaitanya embraces Srila Haridas Thakur, goes for his noon duties, goes to the sea, takes his bath, and the next morning, after visiting, the temple, after getting the darshan of Lord Jagannath, Lord Chaitanya, accompanied by his devotees, very hastily goes to meet Srila Haridas Thakur. So let's read what happens next. Shobha Mataji, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा, दंडवत प्रणाम माता जी। कृष्णराज कविराज गोस्वामी की जय। हरिदासेरा आगे आशी दिला दर्शना, हरिदासा वंढिला प्रभुरा हारा वैष्णव चरणा। Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ji. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the devotees came before Haridasa Thakura, who offered his respects to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the Vaishnavas. Text 47. प्रभु कहे हरिदासा कहा समाचारा, हरिदासा कहे प्रभु ये कृपा तुम्हारा। Translation. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired, my dear Haridasa, what is the news? Text 48. अंघाना आरंभीला प्रभु महासंगीतना, वक्रेश्वर पंडिता तहा करेना नर्दना। Translation. Upon hearing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately began great congregational chanting in the courtyard. Vakreshwara Pandita was the chief dancer. Text 49. Swarupa Gosani Adi Yada Prabhura Gana, Haridasa Bedi Kare Nama Sangitana. Translation. Headed by Swarupa Dhamodara Goswami, all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu surrounded Haridas Thakura and began congregational chanting. Text 50. Ramananda Swarbhabhauma Sabhara Akrete, Haridasera Ghora Prabhu Lagila Kahite. Translation. In front of all the great devotees like Ramananda Raya and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to describe the holy attributes of Haridasa Thakura. Dandavat Pranamataji, Haribol, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So Lord Chaitanya then comes to meet Shri Haridas Thakur after taking darshan of Lord Jagannath in the temple, and all the devotees, they all come before Haridas Thakur, who offered his respects to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the Vaishnavas. And Lord Chaitanya asks, how are you? What is the news? And Haridas Thakur says that whatever mercy you can bestow upon him, upon me, that's his prayer to Lord Chaitanya. And then Lord Chaitanya starts congregational chanting in the courtyard. Vakreshwar Pandit, who's known as a very great dancer in the Kirtan, he was a chief dancer. There was Shri Swarup Damodar Goswami, all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everyone surrounded Srila Haridas Thakur, and they started congregational chanting. And then there was Srila Ramanand Rai, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, all these great devotees were there. So this was a very wonderful time where, very wonderful in the sense that because the Lord is present, the devotees are present, and congregational chanting is taking place. So it is the most wonderful time for, one to leave one's body. I mean, it is by great fortune if one can have this kind of a passing away. Just give me 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Hare Krishna, really sorry. So, congregational chanting is taking place, the Lord is present, and then in front of all these great devotees, Lord Chaitanya starts describing the great attributes of Srila Haridas Thakur. He starts praising Srila Haridas Thakur. We can imagine what a spiritually surcharged atmosphere this is when all these great devotees are present, chanting is taking place, Lord Chaitanya is there, and then, in the midst of everyone, he starts the glorification of Srila Haridas Thakur. Okay. So, moving forward, Sumati Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
हरिदासेर गुणा कहिते प्रभु हैला पंचमुखा, कहिते प्रभुरा बाड़े महासुखा. Translation. by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As he described the transcendental attributes of Haridas Thakura, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu seemed to possess 5 mouths. The more he described, the more his great happiness increased. Text 52. Haridasera gune sabara vismita hayamana sarva bhakta vande Haridasera charana. Translation. After hearing of the transcendental qualities of Haridas Thakura, all the devotees present were struck with wonder. They all offered their respectful obeisances to the lotus feet of Haridas Thakura. Text 53. Haridasa nijagrete prabhureva saila nija netra dui bringa mukha padme dila. Translation. Haridas Thakura made Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sit down in front of him, and then he fixed his eyes like 2 bumblebees on the lotus face of the Lord. Text 54. Swahridaye anidharila prabhura charana sarva bhakta padarenu mastaka bhushana. Translation. He held the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on his heart and then took the dust of the feet of all the devotees present and put it on his head. Text 55. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Shabda Balena Bara Bara Prabhu Mukha Madhuri Piye Netre Jaladhara. Translation. He began to chant the holy name of Sri Krishna Chaitanya again and again. As he drank the sweetness of the face of the Lord, tears constantly glided down from his eyes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, Lord Chaitanya starts describing the glorious attributes of Srila Haridas Thakur, and everyone, all the devotees, who are present there, they are hearing these wonderful narrations by the Lord. And it is mentioned that the way Lord Chaitanya was describing these attributes, it was so much to speak about Srila Haridas Thakur that it seemed like he had 5 mouths. And the more he described, the more his great happiness increased. So the Lord is always very pleased in the glorification of his devotees. He takes great pleasure. He's not that possessive Lord that who only wants, his glorification. No, he gets great pleasure in the glorification of his devotees. And hearing these narrations, the devotees present there were struck with wonder, and they all offered their respectful obeisances at the lotus feet of Srila Haridas Thakur. And Haridas Thakur then makes Lord Chaitanya sit down in front of him. He fixed his eyes on the Lord and on the lotus face of the Lord, and he held the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on his heart. And then he took the dust of the feet of all the devotees present and put it on his head. And he began to chant the holy name of Sri Chaitanya again and again. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, again and again he was chanting this. As he drank the sweetness of the face of the Lord, tears were gliding from his eyes. So we can just imagine what an atmosphere it must be at that time, how spiritually surcharged and how concentrated with love for the Lord, this sweet, very, very sweet reciprocation between the Lord and his devotees. Yeah. Moving forward, Padma Mataji, next 5 verses, 56 to 60.
Text 56, Hare Krishna Mataji. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sabda Karite Ucharana Namera Sahita Prana Kaila Utkramana. Translation by Sri Prabhupada ki jai. While chanting the holy name of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, he gave up his air of life and left his body. Oh, so sad. Text 57. Mahayogeshwara Praya Dekhi Swachande Marana Bhishmera Niryana Sabara Haidesmarana. Translation by Sri Prabhupada ki jai. Seeing the wonderful death of Haridasa Thakur by his own will, which was just like a great mystic yogis, everyone remembered the passing away of Bhishma. Text 58. Hare Krishna Sabde Sabde Kare Kola Premanande Mahaprabhu Haila Vihavala. Translated by Sri Prabhupada ki jai. There was a tumultuous noise as they all chanted the holy names Hari and Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became overwhelmed with ecstatic love. 59. Haridase Ratanu Prabhu Kole Laila Uttana Anganena Jena Prabhu Prema Vistahana. Translation by Sri Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord raised the body of Haridas Thakur and placed it on his lap. Then he began to dance in the courtyard in great ecstatic love. 60. Prabhura Aveshe Avesha Sarva Bhakta Gana Premaveshe Sabe Nache Karena Kirtana. Translation by Sri Prabhupada ki jai. Because of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ecstatic love, all the devotees were helpless. And in ecstatic love, they also began to dance and chant congregationally. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So that very sad moment comes when Srila Haridas Thakur actually leaves his body while chanting the holy name of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. He gives up his body. And seeing the wonderful death of Haridas Thakur by his own will, everyone was reminded of the passing away of Bhishma Dev. Because Bhishma Dev also, as you all know, he had this boon of this of Ichha Mrityu. So everything was arranged. He was on the Shaya of arrows, and he waits for the time when Lord Krishna comes, and seeing the beautiful face of Lord Krishna, he leaves his body. Similarly, for Srila Haridas Thakur also, everything was arranged so nicely. He is able to leave his body at his own will at such a place where all the devotees are present and the Lord is present directly. He's holding the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. So, seeing this, everyone is reminded of the passing away of Bhishma Dev, because that was also a very glorious passing away, and so is this. And as when this happened, there was a tumultuous noise, and everyone chanted the holy names Hari Krishna. And Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gets overwhelmed with ecstatic love, and he raised the body of Haridas Thakur and placed it on his lap, and he began to dance in the courtyard in great ecstatic love. And because of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ecstatic love, all the devotees were helpless. And in ecstatic love, they also began to dance and chant congregationally. So, the name of the Lord is so powerful and so purifying and so energizing that it should be taken at all times. Some people have this very weird misconception that when someone is passing away, you should not, you should not loudly chant, or you should not, have any kind of kirtan or anything like that. But here we see that the devotees were having kirtan. Yes, we may not have a very loud kirtan, but having kirtan when someone is passing away is going to really help the soul. So it's a very glorious passing away. And Srila Haridas Thakur, he really had this desire. He expressed his desire to Lord Chaitanya, and we see how the Lord has reciprocated and fulfilled his desire, whereby he was able to leave his body before Lord Chaitanya ends his pastimes in this world, and also he is able to leave his body at a time when all the devotees and the Lord himself are present. Okay. Yeah. Let's move forward.
Such a fortunate soul, Mataji. He was so fortunate.
Yes, Mataji, that's what, to have this kind of a passing away. It's just Lord's mercy, as he was so. That's
And
what
Mataji,
Hmm.
they are so humble, Mataji. By constantly
humble.
reading, it rubs on us also.
Yes,
You see the
Mataji, and
humbleness.
yes, and we see this in the life of great devotees, like Prabhupada says that this is a lifetime of preparation. So all the preparation we are doing is for that last moment, so that we
Yes,
get
Mataji.
Krishna's
So true.
Maranam at that last. Yeah. So glorious. Yes, Mataji. Yeah. So moving forward, Krishnamurti Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Krishnamurti Prabhu, you're there, Prabhu? I think you had raised your hand.
Yes, Mataji, I am here. One second.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Mataji, I used to pray Supreme, I used to say Supreme Lord every day while sitting for chanting to play better, to make it to stay the last for don't give opportunity for next day. I used to pray him. So that is the thing is, Haridas Thakur has left the body. This is a big lesson and this is a teaching for us to be always in Krishna consciousness and be chant for always. Am I right, Kumudi? Mataji?
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Actually, some devotees say that, when we are chanting, some devotees have had this prayer that, like I think it was King Kulishekar, right, who prays that when I'm healthy and I'm praying and I'm chanting, just let me leave my body because I'm thinking of you. When I'm very, afflicted with disease and all, I may not be able to remember you. So great devotees have this kind of prayer, Prabhu. And it's actually this I think this has to happen with everyone, right? Everyone has to leave the body, so we should definitely pray that that at that last moment we are in very favorable circumstances, so that we are able to remember Krishna, so that the Vishnu Smaran, Krishna Smaranam comes. Otherwise, we don't want to come back again to this cycle of birth and death. And I just came back from the hospital. My mother-in-law is admitted for very serious health issues, and I'm sure all of you may have seen, and I hope you have not seen, but some of you may have seen the sight in hospitals. It is so distressing. And I was just thinking that the number of hospitals have increased so much in the last 20-25 years, and it's considered a sign of development, but it's actually telling us that disease and suffering has increased so much. Kali Yuga is really increasing so much. So it is a very distressing sight. And that should be a wake up call, a reminder for all of us to take to Krishna consciousness very seriously, so that we are able to just finish up our business. Like Prabhupada said, just finish your business in this life. So, right, like Prabhu, you're saying, yes, while chanting, this should be our prayer that, Lord, and really we all should pray that we leave our bodies in favorable circumstances where we remember the Lord and we are able to. And it's not going to happen in one moment. We have to keep preparing for that for every single day, so that our consciousness gets so purified that even in a time of suffering, we think only of Krishna. And it is very difficult, Prabhu, when especially we are in that state when everyone around is in so much suffering. It is a very difficult sight to see. So we
So,
all should pray that Srila Prabhupada blesses us.
anyhow, Mataji, we have to, there much homework is to be done. Much homework.
Yes, what needs to be done. Yes,
It
Prabhu.
is to be done. Otherwise, we can't. Hare Krishna
Definitely.
Mataji.
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Yes.
ये ये माते नृत्य प्रभु कैला क्षण स्वरूप घोषणी प्रभु रे कलीला सावधान translation basic bhakti Prabhupada Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced for some time, and then Swarupa Damodara Goswami informed him of other rituals for the body of Thakura Haridasa. Text 62. Haridasa Thakure Tabe Vimane Chandana Chadana Samudre Lana Gela Tabe Kirtana Kariya. Translation basic Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada. The body of Haridasa Thakura was then raised into the carrier that resembled an airship and taken to the sea, accompanied by congregational chanting. 63. आगे महाप्रभु चले ना नृत्य करते करीते करीते पाचे नृत्य करे वक्रेश्वर भक्त गण साथे translation basic Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced in front of the Christian and Vakreshwara Pandita along with his other devotees chanted and danced behind him. हरिदासे समुद्र जले स्नान करीला प्रभु कहे समुद्र यही महा तीर्थ हीला translation basic Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bathed the body of Haridasa Thakura in the sea and then declared, from this day on this sea has become a great pilgrimage site. Haridasera Padodaka Piye Bhaktagana Haridasera Angedila Prasada Chandana. Translation basic Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada. Everyone drank the water that had touched the lotus feet of Haridasa Thakura, and then they smeared remnants of Lord Jagannath's sandalwood pulp over Haridasa Thakur's body. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Pranam. So Lord Chaitanya, with the Kirtan, he danced for some time, and then Swarup Damodar Goswami informs him that there are, of the other rituals that need to be done for Srila Haridas Thakur. And then the body of Srila Haridas Thakur was raised onto a carrier that resembled an airship, and it was taken to the sea. And all this, along with all this that is going on, the congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra was going on. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is dancing in front of the procession. Akrishwar Pandit, along with the other dancers, chanted and danced behind Lord Chaitanya. And in the sea, Lord Chaitanya gives, he bathes the body of Haridas Thakur and declared that from this day on, the sea has become a great pilgrimage site. Why? Because the body, the very pure body of Haridas Thakur took a bath there, and that's why when devotees go to Jagannath Puri, they take a bath in the sea because it is a pilgrimage site, and this was declared by none other than Lord Chaitanya himself. And everyone drank the water that had touched the lotus feet of Haridas Thakur. It shows his greatness. And then they smeared remnants of Lord Jagannath's sandalwood pulp over Haridas Thakur's body. So all these different, different activities are taking place for Srila Haridas Thakur. Moving on, Gandhimati Mataji, 60.
Mataji, this is very unusually very rough, no? It can
Yes,
drag
Mataji, it's
inside.
very rough. Yeah.
Yeah, when we went, it was really taking us.
Yeah, that's why it's always advised that in Jagannath Puri we have to be very careful. The sea is not calm at all. It's quite
Yeah,
rough.
very, very rough. So we had to hold each other's hands. I was sitting down in the shore. I
Yes.
almost got washed away in the sea. And then they all screamed and they dragged me out.
Yeah, Mataji, because last year Srila Radhanath Maharaj's yatra was in Puri. So it was told to all the devotees that be very careful about the sea. It's not, it's not a
Very,
leisure
very,
activity that you just go and take a bath.
yeah,
It's very difficult. The
very
sea is
rough.
not very rough. Yeah. Gandhi
Hare,
Mati Mataji. Hare Krishna.
text 66. దొరకదర ప్రసాద వస్తరాంగే దిలా వాలుకార కర్తకారి తాకే సోయైలా. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. After a hole was dug in the sand, the body of Haridasa Thakura was placed into it. Remnants from Lord Jagannatha, such as his silken robes, sandalwood pulp, food and cloth were placed on the body. Text 67. चारिदिके भक्तगण करेण कीर्तन वक्रेश्वर पंडित करेण आनंदे नर्तन. Translation. All around the body the devotees performed congregational chanting, and Vakrishwara Pandita danced in jubilation. Hare Krishna. Text 68. Hari bola bale gaura raya apani Sri Haste Valu Dila Tanra Gaya. Translation. With his transcendental hands, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally covered the body of Haridasa Thakura with sand, chanting Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Text 69. Tanre Valu Diya Upare Tanre Valu Diya Upare Pinda Panda Haila Chaude ke Pinderaya Maha Avarana Kaila. Translation. The devotees covered the body of Haridasa Thakur with sand, then
sand and then constructed a platform upon the site. The platform was protected all around by fencing. Text 70. Tahabed Tahabedi Prabhu Kaila Kirtana Nartana Haridwani Kolahale Barila Bhuvana. Translation: Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced and chanted all around the platform, and as the holy name of Hari roared tumultuously, the whole universe became filled with the vibration. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. So, description of what happens further with this whole procession with Srila Haridas Thakur's divine body. So, a hole was dug in the sand, and the body of Haridas Thakur was placed into it. Remnants from Lord Jagannath, such as his silken robe, sandalwood pulp, food, and cloth, were placed on the body. So, generally, the custom is to cremate the body, but not the bodies of great devotees, because their bodies also become divine. And that is why a samadhi is made for their bodies. Their bodies are never cremated. So Srila Haridas Thakur's samadhi is also being created, and all the devotees are performing congregational chanting around the body. And Vakreshwar Pandit was dancing in jubilation. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally covered the body of Haridas Thakur with sand, and while chanting Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Then all the devotees covered the body of Haridas Thakur with sand and then constructed a platform upon the site. The platform was protected all around by fencing. This is the samadhi of Srila Haridas Thakur being created. And then Lord Chaitanya dances around the platform. And as the holy name of Hari roared tumultuously, the whole universe became filled with the vibration. So that the chanting was so powerful and so strong that it filled the whole universe with the vibration. Next, Lalita Vinodini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
तबे महाप्रभु सभा भक्त गण संगे समुद्र करीला स्नाना जले कीली रंगे. Translation by Jivan Krishna Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After Sankirtana, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bathed in the sea with his devotees, swimming and playing in the water in great jubilation. 72. हरिदासे प्रदक्षिणा करी ऐला सिंहद्वारे हरि कीर्तना कोलाहला सकला नगरे. Translation by Jivan Krishna Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After circumambulating the tomb of Haridas Thakura, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the Simhadwara gate of the Jagannatha temple. The whole city chanted in congregation, and the tumultuous sound vibrated all over the city. Text 73. Simhadware asi Prabhu pasari rathani achala patiya prasada magila prathai. Translation by Jivan Krishna Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Approaching the Simhadwara gate, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spread his cloth and began to beg prasadam from all the shopkeepers there. Text 74. Haridasa Thakurera Mahutsavera Tare Prasada Magiya Bhiksha Dehata Amare. Translation by Jivan Krishna Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I'm begging prasadam for a festival honoring the passing away of Haridasa Thakura. The Lord said, please give me alms. Text 75. Shuniya pasari sabha changada uthana prasada dite asitara anandita haya. Translation by Jivan Krishna Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hearing this, all the shopkeepers immediately came forward with big baskets of prasadam, which they jubilantly delivered to Lord Chaitanya. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So, once the Sankirtan was over, Lord Chaitanya bathed in the sea with the devotees and swimming and playing in the water in great jubilation. So, it is said that yes, the passing of a great soul is definitely a matter of sadness, because we miss their company, their association. But it is also a matter of jubilation, because they are now going into the Nitya Leela, they are back, they are reunited with the Lord and engaging in the pastimes with the Lord. And that is why the appearance and disappearance day of great devotees are both celebrated. And then after taking a bath, then after circumambulating the tomb of Haridas Thakur, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the Simhadwara gate of the Jagannath temple. The whole city chanted in congregation, and the tumultuous sound vibrated all over the city. And then Lord Chaitanya he starts begging alms. He begs for prasadam to have a feast for all the devotees. So at approaching the Simha gate, Lord Chaitanya, he spread his cloth and began to beg prasadam from all the shopkeepers there. And he says that I am begging prasadam for a festival honoring the passing away of Haridas Thakur. So the Lord himself is begging to have this festival for for feeding prasadam to all the devotees. And hearing this, all the shopkeepers, they immediately come forward with big baskets of prasadam, which they jubilantly deliver to Lord Chaitanya. So the Lord himself is organizing this feast. Okay, next, Nakishori Mataji. Hare Krishna, Nakishori Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Text 76. Swarupa Gosani Pasari ke Nishedila Changadalana Pasari Pasare Vasila. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. However, Swarupa Damodar stopped them and the shopkeepers returned to their shops and sat down with their baskets. Swarupa Gosani प्रभु रे घरा पथैल्या चारी वैष्णवाचारी पिछाड़ा संगे रखीला. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Swarup Damodar sent Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu back to his residence and kept with him 4 Vaishnava and 4 servants carrier. Swarupa Gosani kahilena sabha pasari re eka dravera eka punja deha more. Sorry Mataji, I take long to pronounce.
No, Mataji, it's totally fine.
Thank you. Translation. Swarup Damodar said to all the shopkeepers, deliver to me 4 palmfuls of prasadam from each and every item. Imane nana prasada bhosha bandana lana aila chari janera mastake chandana. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In this way, varieties of prasadam were collected, then packed up in different loads and carried on the heads of the 4 servants. Text 80. Vaninatha Patnayaka Prasada Anila Kashi Mishra Aneka Prasada Pathaila. Translation. Not only did Swarup Damodar Goswami bring prasadam, but Vaninatha Pattanayaka and Kashi Mishra also sent large quantities. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So this whole feast is being organized, but Swarup Damodar stopped them, and the shopkeepers returned to their shops and sat down with their baskets. And he sends Lord Chaitanya back to his residence and kept with him 4 Vaishnavas and 4 servant carriers. So he doesn't want the Lord to, carry all these things. So he's getting Vaishnavas and he's getting some servant carriers who are going to then carry the prasadam. So he says to all the shopkeepers that you deliver to me 4 palmfuls of prasadam from each and every item. So he's gathering all these different items. And in this way, there was variety of prasadam that was collected, then packed up in different loads and carried on the heads of the 4 servants that he had brought. Not only did Swarup Damodar Goswami bring prasadam, but Vaninath Patnaik and Kashi Mishra also sent large quantities. So in this way, the whole feast for the glorious passing of Srila Haridas Thakur was being planned. Okay, so we'll stop here today. If there are any questions, any comments, any reflections. No? Okay. Then thank you
Hare
all for
Krishna
joining.
Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, one
Yes.
doubt, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Haridas Thakura is an incarnation of Lord Brahma.
Yes.
So in Shweta Dvipa, in the eternal planet, they are all associates with the Lord, no Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
And Advaita Acharya also is an incarnation of Lord Vishnu and Shiva, no Mataji?
Yes.
So how do we understand this, Mataji? In the eternal planet also, Lord Brahma, how do we understand that, Mataji?
So Mataji, they are existing there and yet they incarnate. So it's not like they leave that place. So if Haridas Thakur is having pastimes here, it's not that Lord Brahma is not there in Brahma Loka. So that's the whole concept of incarnation, that the Lord and his empowered devotees, they are able to have this kind of an incarnation, and yet they're also there in the spiritual world. I mean, Lord Krishna is there in the spiritual world and Lord Chaitanya is performing his pastimes. There is also a Navadvip in the spiritual world where the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya are eternally taking place. So in the spiritual world, Mataji, all these things are taking place. Then they come as their incarnations, they come here in the material world for some time, and then they leave from here. But eternally in the spiritual world, all these things are always going on. Okay, Mataji, I know it's difficult to understand because we always have, the problem is that we try to think as per our material understanding, Mataji, that if in one person is in one place, he can't be in another place. But that kind of logic does not apply with the Lord and his empowered representatives.
Okay,
Did I
Mataji.
answer your
Thank
question?
you.
Was that your question?
Yes, Mataji, that was the question. Especially Lord Brahma, who's in the Brahma material planet, how Brahma is also present in the spiritual planet. That is what I wanted to know, Mataji.
Yeah, Mataji. I
Okay.
mean, in his form as Haridas Thakur, he is definitely present in Navadvip in the spiritual world. Yeah, that is,
Okay,
yeah,
Mataji.
you're right. It's difficult to, conceive, but these things are, it's all possible by the inconceivable power of the Lord. That's what we can think.
Very true, Mataji.
Yeah.
True, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining. Panchakalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhu. Yes, Mataji, you have a question.
Mataji, which it's not a question, Mataji. You said no, Mukundamala Stotra, Kulshekar Alvar was telling. That was 33rd one shloka is there, Mataji. Krishna Tvadiya Padapankaja Panjarantam. That shloka, it was what you were saying about.
Yes, Mataji, where he prays, right? That I should leave my body while, yeah.
I should be like a Rajahamsa when I leave my last breath. I want to pray your name with my mouth because at the last moment, Vata Pitta Kapha Dosha, I may not able to chant your name. My voice may choke. So because of that, I want to die like a Rajahamsa when I was chanting your holy name. That is the prayer she does.
What verse number is it, Mataji? Mukundamala
33,
Stotra?
Mataji, 33.
33.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for letting.
Yeah.
You have such a wonderful prayer, no? Yeah.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for letting us.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
Dandavat pranam,
Vanchakalpatrubhyascha
Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय। श्रीला कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी की जय। श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री गुरु महाराज की जय। हरे कृष्णा। थैंक यू ऑल फॉर जॉइनिंग। धन्यवाद प्रणाम।
Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat pranam.
कृष्णा।